morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of voice of radio. So today, we have got big news. You see, ladies and gentlemen, Dark Phantasma, as expected, has gone and been officially revealed. We have an official release date, we've got pack art, and we need to start off today talking about Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR, because somebody over at the Pokémon company, or creatures who actually designing the card, they clearly love Zorowak. And that is very obvious, because we had Zorowak GX a while ago, which obviously ruled the game for ages. We've recently had that Zorowak from Evolving Skies, which isn't ruling the game, but is one of my very favourite cards. And now, we've got this new Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR, which is absolutely, flat out, ridiculously nuts broken good. Yeah, it's really strong. In terms of the set, it does have a release date of the 13th of May, which is around when we were expecting. But I just want to point out one more time, just in case it needed to be said, once again, this is a trademark that I told you about a while ago. Dark Phantasma, I told you about this trademark in September 2021. And it's now mid-April 2022, with 7 months later, and now it's turned out to be a real set. So when I'm bringing you these videos, talking about these new trademarks that I think are going to be for new sets, this isn't me just really reaching or anything silly like that. I am only sharing these trademarks and such with you when I am absolutely sure they are real, and what we've got here is just one more example, and I can't really take the credit. It's largely the lovely Matthew Varive, Immunity, and the lovely Primal Lugia of Poké Guardian that are helping me sort this out. But when we're bringing you news of these trademarks, they inevitably end up being real in the end, and that is extremely important, does need to be borne in mind. When I'm bringing you these trademarks, I think so far we've yet to actually miss on one. This is pretty important. But the real focus of today's video is going to be Hisuian Zoroark VSTAR, because oh my goodness, it's ridiculous. Also weirdly similar to Zorowak GX for what it's worth. Now, as for the V's not actually too bad. 210 HP is fine. Generally 220 is what we're looking for, but we can live with 210. 210 will be alright. And what we've got here are a couple of attacks for 0 energy, 30 damage, and you may switch with one of your bench Pokemon. And this is a colourless Pokemon, so you're not hitting anything for weakness here. There will be no hitting for weakness or anything silly like that. You're only ever doing 30 damage. Although, obviously, here we do need to mention that Choice Belt is very much a thing. So, against a Pokemon V, you'll actually be doing 60 damage and switching to the bench, which really isn't too bad. 60 damage plus switching, yeah, that's actually not too bad. Never hitting for weakness, which is a little bit sad, but it's not the end of the world. If you add in Radiant Hawlucha, which does an extra 30 damage to Pokemon V Max, then you're doing 90 and switching to the bench, and then you stick up some kind of wall, something like an Altaria, just something which is going to buy you a little bit of time, and then you basically go round and do it all again. This could actually work. For 0 energy, you could have a decent hit and run attack. Against non-Vs, and especially against non-V Maxes, you are doing quite a lot less damage, I think it's fair to say. But basic Pokemon, 0 energy, do damage and switch to the bench. I've seen an awful lot worse, ladies and gentlemen. I have seen an awful lot worse. So this is one to bear in mind. The other attack I'm a lot less excited about. What we've got here is free energy, 130. Move 1 energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. And for those of you that have been playing for a little while now, what we're actually talking about here is Tornadus. That original Tornadus, the one from back in the day, because it's free energy, but one of them's going to be something like a double turbo energy, which is a double energy, and you can move an energy here, not just a basic energy. I don't think I've actually said yet, translations from the lovely Antoine Boulet, as you probably should be expecting. And you know what? Yeah, it's alright. It's not great, don't get me wrong, but it's fine. But what we're really excited about here is the V-Star. Now, we go up to 270 HP, which is alright. 280 is about as high as we go. 270 is fine. And we still have a weakness to fighting. Now, this is pretty important. For me personally, for some reason, I always end up playing fighting decks. So when I see a Pokemon out there that's really good and weak to fighting and makes me happy, I'm going to be playing stuff like Wormadam or Donphan or something along those lines. I always end up playing fighting decks for some reason. And to be fair, the fact that I hit so many Pokemon for weakness in basically every format very much helps. And that is going to be big here. Because one thing we need to bear in mind, Galarian Zapdos. And I've said this a lot, and it's finally starting to make its way into a whole bunch of decks. If you've got free Pokemon V out, Galarian Zapdos can do 170 for a single fighting energy. That's important, ladies and gentlemen. So if Hisuian Zoroark does become good, you might see a lot more Galarian Zapdos to try and counter it. Plus, I kind of like we got a throwdown between a Galarian form and a Hisuian form. What we've got here is 2 colourless energy, 50 damage for each of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. And basically, numbers-wise, this is so good. So good. You see, generally speaking, when we want to be one-hit KOing Pokemon V, we need to be doing 220. 220 is a magic number. So if you've got 5 bench Pokemon, and they've all got damage on, you're doing 250, and that's good. But generally speaking, what you really want here is you want to be using double turbo energy because you want to be paying both the energy in one go. You can use a whole bunch of different energy acceleration here. Melanie will work quite nicely to play it with water energy and Melanie. Attach an energy from your water energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V and then draw 3 cards. So Melanie with water energy will work beautifully here, but I think double turbo energy is what you're going to want to use a lot. Well, the thing is, that means you do 20 less damage. But you're doing 250. Again, we are assuming here you've got a full bench and only your bench Pokemon have damage on, not your active. Hitting 250, take away 20 with double turbo energy, you're hitting 230. You're good. Oh, that's quite nice. Assuming you've still got 5 Pokemon with damage on, then use something like a Melanie so you're not using double turbo energy. Attach a choice belt, you're hitting 280. Oh, look, that is the magic number for getting one-hit KOs on Pokemon V-Star. And generally speaking, and yes, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, Pokemon V-Star do not one-hit KO each other. One of the ones I am very excited about coming in Astral Radiance, and it is worth pointing out these cards will not be in Astral Radiance. These will be in whatever our Sun and Moon 11 set is. This is the first set which is beyond what's going to be in Astral Radiance. What we're basically saying here is 220 damage if your opponent's active has damage on. And 220 is really good, because you're one-hit KOing Pokemon V, like I've said, but you're not getting Pokemon V-Star. Most Pokemon V-Star do not one-hit KO Pokemon V-Star, just like most Pokemon V-Max do not one-hit KO Pokemon V-Max. Hisuian Lilligant is one we saw the other day, another nice little example, and what we see is that if you return an energy to your hand, you do 230. In range of Pokemon V, but out of range of V-Star, most of them even with a choice belt. Obviously, your big one here is Arceus, and we all know by this stage Arceus does 200 damage, so you need a choice belt to hit 230 and get Pokemon V. This does one-hit KO V-Star, and that's why it's potentially a game changer. And I've been talking so far assuming you have 5 Pokemon with damage on, because you're going to have an active who might not have damage on, you got a starting Pokemon that it's awkward to get damage on, etc, etc, etc. If you've got 6 Pokemon who all have damage on, then you're hitting 300, and this is super relevant, because 300 with a choice belt is 330, which will get most Pokemon V-Max, and if you've got a Radiant Hawlucha on the bench, you're now at 360, and you will get any Pokemon V-Max. And remember, no V-Max has over 330, so with a choice belt, Radiant Hawlucha, 6 damage Pokemon, you are one-hit KOing anything. And then if you've got 6 Pokemon, all with damage on and a double turbo energy, you're hitting 280, no damage modifiers needed, just 6 damage Pokemon, double turbo, 280. Oh look, I just told you that's the magic number for getting one-hit KOs on Pokemon V-Star. The numbers work so well. so ridiculously well with Hisuian Zoroark. 5 Pokemon, i.e. your bench double turbo energy, 1-hit KO Pokemon V. 5 Pokemon not double turbo energy, choice band, 1-hit KO Pokemon VSTAR. 6 Pokemon that are damaged, double turbo energy, 1-hit KO VSTAR. 6 damaged Pokemon, no double turbo energy, choice bout Radiant Hawlucha, and that really is not as awkward as it sounds. Then all of a sudden you're getting 1-hit KOs on Pokemon V Max. The numbers work perfectly. That is what makes this card so good. And honestly, right, you've got to get your Pokemon damaged, but you know what? Use Gapejaw Bog. This is made for that. And I told you when Gapejaw Bog was revealed, it was great with a whole bunch of Pokemon, but it was only going to get better with more Pokemon revealed. Oh, look, there's another one. Just have it in play. When you bench your Pokemon, you take 2 damage counters. So at this stage, it's Team Magma's secret base, but there's no exception for Team Magma Pokemon because they don't exist right now. And now all of a sudden you are damaging your Pokemon. It's why the calculations with 5 damage Pokemon are so important, because if you're relying on Gapejaw Bog, your active you start the game with won't have any damage on, and that is going to get a little awkward. You could be playing around briefly before rotation, and I do mean briefly because this is going to be our August set, so this might hit a roundabout with rotation. And that would be awkward. You could be playing around with Spikemuth, switching in and out, getting damage on that way. Clearly, this is Gapejaw Bog. Although you could always use something like my boy Donphan to just damage all of your bench if you so wish. You've got to have damage Pokemon, but Gapejaw Bog says you're going to have damage Pokemon. And sure, this is very reliant on that card or something similar, I admit. But I don't particularly care. The numbers work beautifully. We have Gapejaw Bog. It's nuts. Oh yeah, and the V-Star Power lets you discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Which is crazy good. Like, really crazy good. I mean, we can't compare it to others. Remember, Hisuian Decidueye lets you draw until you have 8 cards in hand. And look, Hisuian Decidueye doesn't make you throw away your hand, which can be good. But generally speaking, most of the time, you're not actually going to draw 7 cards with Decidueye. So this is probably better than that. You do still have to put it side by side with Arceus V-Star. And yeah, that one, it is search for any 2 cards, which is often going to be better. So that is an issue. But make no mistake about it, what we've got with Hisuian Zoroark here is one of the very best V-Star we've seen so far. I see this up there with V-Star like Arceus and Darkrai, that really are, in my eyes, the top tier ones around. Is it going to be as good as Arceus? Debatable. You see, Arceus accelerates energy and really powers up anything. This is a deck in and of itself, and you are reliant on that stadium, and things can go wrong, and blah, blah, blah. What you've got here is an amazing attack that hits the numbers beautifully, and a V-Star power, which is great. Because if you're really desperately searching for that stadium, or the double turbo energy, or whatever it might be, hey, use your V-Star power. Dump your hand, draw 7 cards. That is ridiculous for consistency. Yeah, this is special, ladies and gentlemen. This is special. I think this is a ridiculous card. I'm giving it 5 Wassies, and this is a very quick decision. This isn't one of those where I'm sitting around going, oh, should I give it between 4 and 5? Should I hedge my bets? No, this is 5 Wassies, and it's honestly not even particularly close. But I want to know what you think. Is this card as broken as I and a bunch of other people think it is, or am I exaggerating? Let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at Lawasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.